I want to share a lesson I learned in life. When I was younger and I would head off to school, my mother would pack my lunch many times, and in the lunch bag would be a paper napkin and a handwritten note to me. Just "I love you, son. Have a great day," with a heart. And I want all the mothers to know out there that those matter. They made a positive difference in my life, and I'm thankful for them. Or if fathers leave them, doesn't matter. And so, that food had an association with that note, a level of affection. And then as I got older, one of my first jobs in construction, my mother, when I still lived at home, she would pack my lunch. And one day I came home without my lunch being eaten. And my mom got very upset with me. Like, like not mean, but like, Sam, what happened? You didn't eat your lunch? You didn't like it, this and this and that. And I was like, no, I just, whatever. I wasn't hungry. I was busy. I didn't feel like eating, whatever. Or I had bought lunch or something. And then, like, I went back to work the next day and I was sharing with the guys. Of course, most of them were older. I was, one of the youngest kids on the job site. And the guys were, I was sharing with the guys, once we were at lunch that next day, I was sharing with the guys, oh, I better eat my lunch. My mom was like very upset. I don't know why. I was like, I told her, look, I wanted to eat out or whatever I did that day. And they go, what happened? They go, well, I took my lunch home. I didn't eat it. And my mom said, what happened? And I go, oh, you don't, you gotta learn a lesson. He goes, you never bring uneaten home back to your mother, and for them, they even said their wives. And at that time, then a light bulb started to click. A lesson started to resonate. A lesson started to come to me. And that lesson was some people associate food with a level of affection. They associate the food they give you with that love they have for you. And if you don't take that food, they get offended. They're hurt. They don't understand why. And for many cases, that's mothers or maybe the wives, a nurturer, but doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be a husband that expresses himself with food. So I don't want to make a general statement, but what I want to state is that for some people, when they offer you food and you don't accept it or you don't fully eat it, they get offended because it's their way of extending affection to you. And you have to be mindful of that and respectful, but I also want to share with you this. It's a balanced perspective, is that when I had gotten older and once I started to get my health in order and watch and be mindful of the things I eat, my mom, who was, very overweight, and she would eat whatever, and we would enjoy indulging together. Once I started to change my eating habits, I remember one summer, the first summer, I started to really watch what I eat. And my mom was having a barbecue, and she cooked all this barbecue chicken. It was so much of it. It was way too much. And I told my mom, I said, look, I don't want to have it. It's just too much. It's too much. And I was still trying to build my habits up. Like, I couldn't be around that much chicken because, one, it was too tempting for me. And two, it was just like too overwhelming. And she wouldn't accept no for an answer that I didn't want the food. She like felt offended by it. But I had to take a stand. And it was a big argument. So, I'm not eating this chicken. It's too much. I'm trying to, change my eating habits. She didn't understand because, her whole life really wasn't based around eating healthy. And she may have took that, what I've come to believe now is she took that as I was, rejecting her affection. Her cooking for me and offering that food was a way of her showing her affection. And either way, we got in a big fight, big fight. And, thank God, of course, the Lord gave us grace where, neither one of us passed away the next day when we had time to hear each other out or just we had time to go, our own ways and think about what had happened. And then when we had reconnected, and over time, it wasn't immediately, but over time, both of us understood each other's perspective. My mom eventually came to the realization, like, I'm serious about changing my life and my eating habits, and she respected that, and she gave me my personal space and boundaries. And I respected the fact that, my mom, she just means well. It's just her way of showing affection. So what I want to share with you is be mindful of this life lesson that for some people, food and offering you food is their way of extending a level of affection. And they can get offended or hurt when you decline that. So be respectful of their feelings, but also know this. Take this as a life lesson. If it comes to taking care of your health and well-being, you do have every right respectfully and lovingly to say no and to not partake. And even in the beginning stages of changing your eating habits, not even be around it, not even go to some events, not even sit at the table. You have to take care of you. Never forget that. Never forget it. I know it's hard, especially in the beginning when people don't understand or people may not even believe that you are fully going to change your life. But you have to do what you have to do for you in a healthy, positive manner. So I just want us to be mindful of this life lesson that I've learned, that food for some people equals affection, and that's fine. But know that you have to be mindful and you have to take care of your health. Your health is the center of everything. You want to live out of a car, you got to be healthy. You want to live in a mansion, you got to be healthy. You want to do anything in this world, you need to be healthy. And I understand and respect there's some things that affect our health that are out of our control, that, something can still go wrong. But again, focus on what you can control and what you eat. And what you eat is very important to your health. So just be mindful. No, it's not easy, all right? I want to share that life lesson about food and affection. All right, stay inspired.